अभी शुरू करते हैं। What is inference? Inference is a mental process of pausing from one or more preposition to another preposition which is justified by them. In other words, inference is a mental process of passing from something known to something unknown or from observed cases to the unobserved cases. For example, Ram is mortal, Sham is mortal, Jodu is mortal. Therefore, all men are mortal. What are the different kind of inference? Inference mainly is of two kinds: a number, deductive inference, inductive inference. What is deductive inference? Deductive inference is that kind of inference in which the conclusion cannot be more general than the premise or premises. In other words, deductive inference is that kind of inference in which we establish a particular conclusion from a general or universal premise or premises. For example, all men are mortal. Ram is a man, therefore Ram is mortal. What is inductive inference? Inductive inference is that kind of inference in which the conclusion must be more general than the premises. Full stop. In other words, inductive inference is that kind of inference in which we establish a universal or more general conclusion from particular facts of experience. For example, Ram is mortal, Sham is mortal, Jadu is mortal. Therefore, all men are mortal. Another question: what are the different kinds of deductive inference? Deductive inference is of two kinds, namely immediate inference and mediated inference. What is immediate inference? Immediate inference is a kind of deductive inference in which the conclusion follows from only one premise. For example, all crows are black. Universal preposition. Therefore, some black beings are crows. What is mediate inference? Mediate inference is a kind of deductive inference, in which the conclusion follows from more than one premise. For example, all men are mortal, all kings are men, therefore all kings are mortal. What are the different kind of immediate inference? There are various kinds of immediate inference like conversion, obversion, contraposition. What is conversion? Define with example. Conversion is a kind of mediate inference in which there is a legitimate transposition of the subject and the predicate of the premise in the conclusion. Full stop. In this type of inference, the given premise is called the convertent and the conclusion is called converse. For example, no men are perfect, therefore no perfect beings are men. What are the rules of conversion? There are four rules of conversion which are as follows. The subject of the convertent becomes the predicate of the converse. The predicate of the convertent becomes the subject of the converse. The quality of the convert is the same as the quality of the convertent. No term can be distributed in the converse unless it is not distributed in the convertent. Another question: why all preposition cannot be converted? If a preposition is to be converted, its conclusion will be another or preposition, and then subject of the converted is not distributed but it is distributed in the converse. For example, some men are not honest, therefore some honest beings are not men. In the above example, we find that the subject of the converted man is undistributed by it is distributed in the converse. Full stop. So it violates the fourth rule of the conversion, that is, no term can be distributed in the converse unless it is distributed in the convertent. That is why a preposition cannot be converted. Another question: what are the different kinds of conversion? Define with example. There are two kinds of conversion. mainly simple conversion per accidents. Simple conversion is the kind of conversion in which the quantity of the converse is the same as the quantity of the convertant. Full stop. The conversion of E and I prepositions are the example of simple conversion. For example, no cats are dogs. Therefore, no dogs are cats. Option 2. Some men are wise. Therefore, some wise beings are men. Conversion per accidents. Conversion per accidents is that kind of conversion in which the quantity of the converse is different from the quantity of the converted. Full stop. The conversion of a preposition is an example of conversion per accidents. For example, all crows are black. Therefore, some black beings are crows. What is obversion? Obversion is a kind of immediate inference in which there is a change in the quality of the given preposition while its meaning remains unchanged. Full stop. In this form of inference, comma, the given preposition is called the obvertent and the conclusion is called the obverse. For example, all men are mortal, therefore no men are non-mortal. Of question number 14, what are the rules of conversion? There are four rules of conversion. These are: option 1, the subject of the obverse is the same as the subject of the obverted. Option 2, the predicate of the obverse is the contradictory of the predicate of the converted. Option C, the quality of the converse is the opposite of the quality of the converted. Option 4, the quantity of the converse is the same as the quantity of the converted. Version of A is an opposite E. E is opposite A. I is opposite O. O is opposite I. What is syllogism? Syllogism is a kind of mediate deductive inference, comma, in which the conclusion follows from two premises taken jointly. For example, all men are mortal, all kings are men, therefore all kings are mortal. What are the characteristics of syllogism? Or mention any four characteristics of syllogism. Answer. Following are the some important characteristics of syllogism. The conclusion of a syllogism is taken from two premises jointly. Full stop. It cannot be drawn from any one of them. Roman number 2. The conclusion of a syllogism cannot be more general than the premises, comma, because it is a kind of deductive inference. Option C. The conclusion of a syllogism is drawn spontaneously from the premises. Option D. The material truth of the conclusion of a syllogism is based on the material truth of the premises. Question number 17. Discuss the structure of syllogism. Answer. A syllogism consists of three propositions, two premises, and one conclusion. Again, every preposition has two terms, but every syllogism has three terms instead of six terms because each term occurs twice in the argument in the same sense. These three terms are major term, minor term, and middle term. What is major term? The predicate of the conclusion of a syllogism is called major term. Minor term. The subject of the conclusion of a syllogism is called minor term. Middle term. The term which is present in both the premises, comma, but not in the conclusion is called the middle term. It should be mentioned here that the premise in which the major term occurs is called major premise and the predicate in the minor term occurs is called minor premise. Full stop. All men are mortal, all poets are men, therefore all poets are mortal. In the above example of syllogism, mortal is the major term, comma, poets is the minor term and men is the middle term. What is figure of a syllogism? Figure is a form of a syllogism which is determined by the position of the middle term in the premise. For example, all men are mortal, all kings are men, therefore all kings are mortal. In the above example, the position of the middle term is subject in the major premise and predicate in the minor premise, which is a form of figure. Question number 19. What are the different kinds of figure? Define with an example. There are four kinds of figure, namely first figure, second figure, third figure, and fourth figure. What is first figure? When the middle term is subject in the major premise and predicate in the minor premise, then it is called the first figure. For example, all men are rational. Some animals are men. Therefore, some animals are rational. Second figure, when the middle term is predicate in both the premises, then it is called the second figure. For example, no men are perfect. All gods are perfect. Therefore, no gods are men. Third figure, when the middle term is subject in both the premises, then it is called the third figure. For example, all poets are thinkers, all poets are men, therefore, some men are thinkers. Fourth figure, when the middle term is predicate in the major premise and subject in the minor premise, then it is called the fourth figure. For example, some men are happy, all happy persons are virtuous, therefore, some virtuous persons are men. What is the mood of syllogism? Mood is a form of a syllogism which is determined by the quality and the quantity of the premises or by the quality and the quantity of the constituent propositions. For example, no men are perfect, all kings are men, therefore no kings are perfect. The above argument is an example of syllogism, comma, the mode of which is E, A, E. What is the valid mode of first figure, second figure, third figure, and fourth figure? There are 19 valid modes of syllogism in all figures, which are as follows. First figure, 4 valid modes. Barbara is represented by AAA. Celarent, Celare, and Celarent is denoted by EAC. Dari, Darii, represented by AII. Ferio, Ferio, EIO. Second figure, Caesari, Cesare, bracket by EAE. B. Chemistries, Camestres. C. Estino, and D. Barocco. Third figure, 6 valid modes. Darapti, Tatisi, Disamis, Philipton, Bocardo, Ferison. Fourth figure, Brahmantip, option B. Caminis, C. Dimaris, D. Fisapo, E. Fricison. Question number 12. What are the general rules of syllogism? Answer. There are 10 general rules of syllogism which are as follows. Every syllogism must contain 3 and only 3 prepositions. Every syllogism must contain 3 and 3 forms, each of which occurs twice in the argument in the same sense. Bracket. The violation of this rule leads to the fallacy of 4 terms. Option 3. The middle term must be distributed at least once in the premise. The violation of this rule leads to the fallacy of undistributed middle. Option 4. No term can be distributed in the conclusion unless it is distributed in the premises. The violation of this rule leads to the fallacy of illicit major or the fallacy of illicit minor. Option 5. If both the premises are affirmative, the conclusion must also be affirmative. Option 6. From two or negative premises, no conclusion can be drawn. Option 7. If one of the premises is negative, comma, the conclusion must be negative. Option 8. From two particular premises, comma, no conclusion can be drawn. 9. If one of the premises is particular, the conclusion must be particular. 10. From a particular major premise and a negative minor premise, comma, no conclusion can be drawn.